Okay. Sorry if this sounds a little off, but I just filmed a whole thing of this before and it crashed. So I decided to tell you all about my little testimonial coming to Rooster Teeth. Um, Mostly because it's my new step. It's my new goal. An outline down, and I'm going to read from it. So, but I just like jotted some stuff down, not like hardcore. Okay, so this all started around 2016, 2015. I moved back from Chicago after living there for a year. And in that year, I basically, as I wrote it down here, let's just say that it was a year that basically set my entire life on fire, kicked it down the stairs, and stamped on it until it died. That was a that was probably the worst time in my life ever. Because I moved back in with my parents after moving out and thinking, oh my god, I'm going out into the world, finally, I'm gonna do it. And I failed so unbelievably bad that I had to move back home and with my tail between my legs. And what made it worse is that I know that people were trying to be helpful and like just trying to like encourage me, but my family and friends kept telling me how proud they were that I tried being a grown up or tried living in Chicago and being on my own, and I was so brave for doing it and all this stuff. And all I thought was, I failed. I'm a loser. I should have never done that, and you shouldn't be proud of me. And the fact that you're proud of me makes me feel worse. And then when I came back with my tail between my legs, I decided to go back to my old job that I had left. And due to some technicalities and due to some BS, that happened in Chicago, I was forced to resign from that job here. So I couldn't even go back to the old life that I had. So now not only did I not have a plan for the future, I didn't have a current plan. I didn't have anything. And I was feeling really lost and I didn't know what I was going to do next. But luckily that weekend, my sister, whose name is Victoria, that's important because I'm going to mention her a lot in this story. So her name is Victoria, and that's who I'm talking about when I say Victoria. Anyway, Victoria, she got tickets to go to San Antonio, a Fall Out Boy concert in San Antonio. And in San Antonio, we ran into this place called the Alamo, which is it's like a studio movie grill, but I guess it's like the Texas version of it. It's like a Texas chain. And she's like, oh, that's really cool. The people from Rooster Teeth like to go there. And I'm like, what is Rooster Teeth? I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And she was like, Rooster Teeth. I showed you their videos when you were living in Chicago. The Five Nights at Freddy's thing. And at that point, that was right when Five Nights at Freddy's came out. So, like, everybody had made a bunch of videos. I found a lot of Let's Players through that. It's the first time I ever saw Markiplier. She was like, those guys. And I was like, oh, the British guy and the guy with the nerdy guy. And she's like, yeah. And I'm sorry, Michael. I was a very bad person at this point and just judging books by their cover. But, I was like, oh, I thought they just, like, filmed that in their room. Like, I thought they were just fucking around. And she's like, no. They actually work for a company, that's their job. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So she showed me some of their animated adventures, and I started watching the animated adventures. And that's all I watched for a really long time. So that was my first introduction to Rooster Teeth. Then I started working, and due to some health issues that I had done to my body over the past year in Chicago, they started to flare up. The job that I had was making it with stress and a bunch of other stuff. It kind of got me through that, but when you're depressed and you're sick and you're just like in your own little funk, you are not open to new things. You're not into receiving new information. You're not Anyway, so I really wasn't like hardcore about it. It was just like the animated adventures were getting me through my day. And at that point, that's all I knew. I didn't know their names. I didn't know what people really looked like outside of the cartoon. That was it. Soon after that, Victoria asked if I could get her a Christmas present, and the Christmas present was going to Laser Team, like getting her tickets and going to Laser Team with her. And I didn't know what Laser Team was. It's like, those are the guys that you watch play. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got their names, starting to piece together who they are. But that was it. I mean, I was like, that's a cute movie. All right, cool. So Victoria has done the smart thing, and she started to kind of ease me into the whole Rooster Teeth thing. Because she knows if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm in whatever, if I'm not in the right mindset and the right mood, I'm not going to like accept anything she gives me. So she kind of is slowly eking me in here. So then after we saw Laser Team, and I kind of know who people are and stuff like that, she's like, so, yeah, so they have a convention every year called RTX, and would you want to go with me? Because I don't want to go by myself. I really wanted to go all these years, but I don't want to go alone, so will you go with me? And I'm like, okay, all right, I see where this is going. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. So we went to RTX 2016, and I was just like, okay, this is cool. It's kind of cool walking around. We didn't do a lot. I didn't do a lot. Anyway, Victoria stayed pretty close to the place, so I was just showing up there later in the day. She was excited. But the first panel that I went to with her was the Ruby panel. And I was like, I don't really know what this is. I wasn't really into anime. I was just like, okay, that's kind of cool, whatever. But at this particular Ruby panel, they premiered Ruby Chibi. And I was like, whoa, what is this? I'm here for this. Ruby Chibi, yes, it's adorable. I'm all about it. And she's like, well, it's kind of funny that they made a chibi version of it because Ruby is already so chibi. And I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking, my mindset is that anime is like Dragon Ball Z. Like, I used to watch Sailor Moon as a kid. That was it. That was the extent of my anime knowledge. And she's like, yeah, but it's really cute and fun. And I'm like, oh, okay. Do you think maybe we could watch some at the hotel? And she's like, yes, let's do that. That's what we need to do. So I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do. So we went home and we watched about half of Ruby, I want to say. Half of Ruby Volume 1. Because it was all on Netflix, so it was one big thing. So we watched it, and it was like, that's pretty awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, and during the Ruby panel, like, the actors were really passionate about in the clips that they showed, where I was like, that's really cool. So now we've gotten into Animated Adventures, Laser Team, Ruby Chibi, just slowly starting to get in there. But still, at this point, I'm just like, okay, that's very cool. I'm excited. But I need to really focus on me because I don't know what I'm doing. So I got another job in the service industry. Just keep getting jobs like this. Just kind of tiding me over. And then so that December, Victoria asked me for tickets to the Game Grumps for a Christmas present. And the Game Grumps I had never really heard of either. I was like, are they a part of Rooster Teeth? And she's like, no, they're a separate thing. That's a whole different story of how I came to love the Game Grumps, and it's a very interesting story and very cool. I'm going to do it separate, though, because it needs its own story. So, yeah, we're going to do that. So, we go to the Game Grumps, and I'm starting to, like, feed into that. I'm like, oh, Game Grumps are really cool. I really enjoyed them. So I go home and I Google Game Grumps, or I YouTube Game Grumps. Start watching some Game Grumps stuff. Cut to seeing Game Grumps on the spot at RTX. And I was like, hello. Hey there. dude host, you're really hot. And I was like, oh my god, I need more of this man. Who is this? First time, first time I Googled a name for Rooster Teeth. And I was like, John Reisinger. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. He's really hot. Very cute. Yeah, I want to know more about that. So led to watching a lot of On the Spot. A lot. Probably all of it. And On the Spot is a game show on Rooster Teeth. And so the people that are on it, they're not really acting. They're being themselves. And through that, I got to know their personalities, got to know their names, got to know everybody's names. And I just started thinking, oh my god, these are awesome people. Why have I not known this before? Meanwhile, while I'm getting into that, my health tanks even more, and I almost did not come out of it. But I did come out of it, and I came out of it thinking, oh my god, I need to get my life together. I need to get my stuff together. I need to get my mind together. And I was like, okay, this is amazing because it's an actual company. You can apply there and work there and get paid to be there, which, going back to what I had done before with my plan, I just moved out to Chicago to make it as an actress in theater out there. Just go. I just went. I didn't have a plan, really. I just thought, it's going to happen. With this, I thought, oh my god, it's a grown-up company. You can work your way into there. You can go through the process of applying and being a grown-up and actually legitimately having a place in that company instead of just, I don't know, seducing John Reisinger and sleeping with him and working there through that. Which, I'm not going to lie, that's the first thing that came into my mind. Because usually I'm used to getting by on my looks, which are fading, so kind of had to figure that out. I had to figure out different ways. So I started doing that, and I was like, okay, back in the day, I went to college for a while and just stopped because I figured out that if you work, you can just get money and just use money. But that's just working crappy jobs and not really earning enough to do something with your life. So I went back to my college and I looked and I saw that I had enough money, or I had enough credits to organize, if I just take a few more classes, to be a mass communications degree, to get a mass communications degree. And it just so happened that when I looked at the website, Rooster Teeth website, they were hiring for a social media coordinator that needed that degree. It's taken now, it's gone now, but it just kind of gave me like that sense of, oh my god, that this is what I should be doing. This is a sign. And I'm all about signs. If you don't know me, I'm all about signs, all about fate, all about all of that. So I'm like, oh my god, this is it. This is confirmation that I'm doing something right. This is the right way to go. And even when the position closed, I was like, you know what? That's fine. It got me into this. I got me on a path. And I actually applied for the job. And I was like, I don't have a degree, but I am working to get a degree, and I will do anything. Really embarrassing. But she emailed me back, and I'm not saying that this means anything. It probably doesn't. It's probably something they send to everybody. Oh my. So, shit, I forgot. Oh, okay. So this lady from Rooster Teeth emailed me back after all of that and was like, we decided not to go forward with your position. However, we hope you'll be open to our job offer if we find something that we feel like you fit. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, thank you. But, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's something they send to everybody, but it's nice to know that they are receptible to new people. And it is a thriving job company. It's not like they're saying no. And once I do get a degree and get more experience under my belt, it looks better, and it gives me something to work towards. Something plausible, something tangible that I can see myself just keeping in the back of my mind, keeping me going. That's what I need in my life, is I need something to keep me going, because if I don't have anything, I just implode. And normally that has been guys or
some form of alcohol or drugs or just different things, self-destructive things, sex, stuff like that. That's why my mind went to it. It started going towards, and it tends to focus on men, even in Rooster Teeth. So I'm trying really, really, really hard to focus on just the job and the lifestyle aspect of it. And I'm trying to keep like the boy aspect out of it. It's really, really hard, but it's something that I want to admit that I'm working on, and because that's kind of why I'm making this. I'm not exactly the poster child promotional video that I want to promote for me working there. Nitty gritty, and I apologize if I offended anybody by the nature of this video. But I really just wanted to put it out there because I don't know where I would have been in the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. You gave me something to work for. You gave me a new perspective on life. And quite literally, I was a very shitty person before I was exposed to you. You guys are amazing and so sweet and really human beings that you showed me what kind of trashy human being I was being and how to be better and more mature and just an all around great person. So that's why I wanted to put that out here. I wanted to sit down and talk about it for a long time. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. I hope to God this one saves. If you'd like to hear my Game Grumps story, it's very cute. It's mostly me meeting Danny when I don't know who he is. Yeah. Speaking of, and so if you liked this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. If you would like to share your story, go for it. I think that Rooster Teeth is a company that needs to be more promoted and put out there into the world. It's getting kind of mainstream, but I think that it needs even more support. But good companies that promote good content and good karma and just help give back to the community and is so loving for its fans. It's amazing. So, yeah, I don't have a sign off or anything. I'm just going to say bye.